Okay, so in the previous video, we have seen the method of successive approximation, and for that, we have approximated your y of x starting from y0. So y0 of x we have taken as fx, and then we have taken y1, which is depending on y0, and y2, which depends on y1, and so on. So your ym depends on ym minus 1, and when you take the limit, if it exists, then that will satisfy your equation 1 and you will get the solution. And after some simplifications, we got one series, and this series is called Newman series. So the question of this approximation is reduces to check whether this series converges or not. If this series converges, then you will get the solution by approximations. And then we have seen the convergence of Newman series. By using some Cauchy-Schwarz inequality and some calculations, we managed to show that this resolvent kernel, Newman series converges. And then we have denoted that series, we have taken this lambda 1 lambda out, and then we have taken this series as a function of xt and lambda, and we called this as resolvent kernel. And the question was to show that this solution, whatever we got, is unique. And based on that, again we have stated one theorem wherein whatever we have proved is put up. And we have seen these limitations also, like computation of this series, that Newman series, it takes lots of time, and in general we cannot get the known function. And again, the solution, this integral equation may also have a solution which is outside that circle. And then we have seen 1 2 examples, and some exercises were given. Right, now in this topic, in this video, we are going to see the solution of Volterra integral equation. So we will see what is this Volterra integral equation. How to solve that. Now consider this, as we have seen for the Radon integral equation. Consider the Volterra integral equation. We consider this Volterra integral equation. Y of x is equals to fx plus lambda integral a to b. We are taking Volterra, so let us take this special kind of Volterra equation, a to x, a x comma t, y of t dt. And let us take this as your equation 1. Right, now we have to see how we will approximate and get the resolvent kernel for this Volterra integral equation. So continuing, as in case of Radon integral equation, the whatever procedure we have followed for Volterra this Radon integral equation, follow the same procedure, and we will get this I left as exercise to check. We will get yn of x equals to fx plus summation I from 1 to n, lambda is to I. Now here you take care, see what are the limits. A to x, ai of x comma t, ft dt. you follow the same procedure what we followed for Fredholm integral equation for approximations, and we will get yn of x is equals to fx plus summation lambda raised to I integral ki x comma t ft dt. That is, we will get yn of x, or if I take limit, let me write directly. Yeah, you take the limit as n goes to infinity, and then again you will have a Newman series. You can check the convergence of that Newman series. You will have y of x, the limit of n is y of x is equals to, this is constant, so fx plus, do the same thing what we have done. So lambda you take it outside, you interchange the variables, I mean that integral and the summation, and that resolvent kernel you will get gamma xt lambda ft dt. Now where I should write, where this gamma xt lambda is resolvent kernel. Right? Rather here I should have written solution of Poulter integral equation with the help of resolvent kernel. So we are checking the method how to solve this Poulter integral equation with using the resolvent kernel. So here we will have gamma xt lambda, which is a resolvent kernel. Now that gamma will have ki's. So again we need to check the formula for ki. So let me write that also for you. You verify km of x comma t or ki of x comma t will be integral. Verify these limits, t from integral from t to x, k x comma u k m minus 1 u comma t du. And then we should define what is k1 with k1 x comma t is equals to k x comma t. So I'll use this as an exercise to verify all these formulae and get this formula for km x comma t. So with this we accept this formula and let us take examples. So for the first example, find the solution of the following integral equation with the help, because in future we will see lots of different methods to solve the integral equation. So with the help of resolvent kernel. And your integral equation is y of x is equals to e raised to x square plus integral 0 to x e raised to x square minus t square y of t dt. You can easily classify this equation. Now if you have noticed, our integral equation is Poulter integral equation of the form what we have discussed just now, integral from 0 to x, in this case a to x. So to solve this, let us see what is the data which is given. Here we have fx, function f of x is equals to e raised to x square. Then we have, there is nothing here, that means lambda is 1, and your kernel k x comma t is e raised to x square minus t square. Now with this, let us go for the iterated kernels. So we have k1, so let k1 x comma t is equals to, we have taken this as k x comma t, and k of x comma t is e raised to x square minus t square. So this is your k1. To find k2 of x comma t is given by your formula. This km of x comma t is integral from t to x kx comma u km minus 1 u comma t du. So by using this formula, we can write k2 as integral t to x k x comma u then k m minus 1, so k1 u comma t du, and this is same as integral t to x k of x comma u is e raised to x square minus u square. K1 is again same as k, so it is e raised to u, so u square minus t square du. You simplify this will be integral t to x e raised to, this you cancels out, x square minus t square du. This is same as e raised to x square minus t square, it's common, you can take integral t to x du, and this would be same as e raised to x square minus t square. When you integrate upper limit minus lower limit, it will be x minus t. So k1 is e raised to x square minus t square, k2 is e raised to x square minus t square into x minus t. If you can generalize, you can always do that. You can always generalize your km, but just by looking at two terms, that k1 and k2, it is very difficult to generalize what is the next term. So try to get k3, k4 if possible. Now your k3, let me calculate k3 of x comma t, you can generalize, then you can generalize. Alright, so k3 of x comma t is given by integral t to x k x comma u and then 3 minus 1 2, so k2 u comma t du. Again you substitute the values. K value we have e raised to x square minus u square, this is e raised to u square minus t square into x minus t, so u minus t du. When you simplify this, you will have integral t to x e raised to x square minus t square u minus t du. This constant you can take it outside, e raised to x square minus t square integral t to x u minus t du. So apply your method of integrations. You will have x square minus t square, the integral of this will be u minus t whole square upon 2 limits t to x. So you put your upper limit minus lower limit and you will get e raised to x square minus t square into, when you put upper limit, it is x minus t, so x minus t the whole square upon 2, and when you put the lower limit, it is t minus t, so it will be 0. Remember your variable of integration is u, so these are the limits for u. So k3 is this e raised to x square minus t square x minus t the whole square upon 2. Again you directly cannot generalize, so you try to get the next term. So I'll write directly what is the next term. K4 x comma t we will get after simplification, after solving, e raised to x square minus t square into x minus t whole raised to 3 upon 6, and then that 6 we can write as 3 factorial just to generalize it. And if you want, you can for k5 you can find k6, k7, and then try to get the form. Now in this case what we get is km x comma t is this first vector is as it is, and then this 4, and then here you will get 3, for 3 you will get 2, for 2 you will get 1, for 1 there is nothing, so 0 upon 0 factorial is 1. So we can write this as x minus t whole raised to m minus 1 divided by m minus 1 factorial. This is our km, and using this km we can find the resolvent kernel. The resolvent kernel k not k, it's gamma x t lambda. Gamma x t lambda is given by gamma x t lambda is equals to summation I from 1 to infinity. It is lambda raised to let me start with m from 1 to infinity, lambda raised to m km x comma t. This is how you get your gamma, and then you substitute the values. So this is equals to summation m from 1 to infinity. We have lambda, and in our case lambda is equals to 1, and 1 raised to m is again 1, so let me write just 1, and km we got it here, so e raised to x square minus t square, and x minus t raised to m minus 1 whole divided by m minus 1 factorial. If you can, then simplify this further. So this is independent of summation, you can take it outside the summation. So this is equals to e raised to x square minus t square. So from here this term which is independent of summation, that summation m, you can take it outside, and then you can write summation m from 1 to infinity e raised to x minus t whole raised to m minus 1, x minus t whole raised to m minus 1 whole divided by m minus 1 factorial. Now in this case you can check whether you are getting some standard function. Now here if I noticed, I can write this as summation m from 0 to infinity x minus t raised to m whole divided by m factorial. You replace this series summation from m equals to 0, or you can put m this m minus 1 equals to n something, and you transform or start this series from 0. When you write, when you do it, that changes, you will get x minus t raised to m whole divided by m factorial. And this series is a known series which is an exponential series. So x minus t the whole square, this is e raised to x minus t. So this is your resolvent kernel gamma x t lambda, and we are asked to find the solution. So since we have this resolvent kernel, we can find the solution. Therefore the solution is given by y of x is equals to fx plus lambda integral. We had a to x, but in this case our a is 0, so 0 to x gamma x t lambda ft dt. That is same as, let us write that fx is given by e raised to x square, if I am not wrong. Fx is e raised to x square e raised to x square, then plus lambda is 1, so integral 0 to x, gamma we got this, so e raised to x square minus t square into e raised to x minus t, ft is e raised to t square dt. So simplify this integrals, go on the next page. This is equals to e raised to x square plus integral 0 to x, you take all these exponential things, so x square minus t square plus x minus t plus t square dt. This is same as e raised to x square plus integral 0 to x e raised to you are integrating with respect to t, so let me write this as x square plus x, then e raised to, let me write this as minus t, this minus t square cancels out with plus t dt. And then this is very simple integration which you can easily solve. E raised to x square plus, this is independent of variable of integration, that is e raised to x square plus x, and then we can find the integral of e raised to minus t, that is e raised to minus t divided by minus 1, and put the limits 0 to x. This is the value of your integration. Then you put the upper limit minus lower limit, you will get e raised to x square plus e raised to x plus x, x square plus x, and this is e raised to, let me write minus, e raised to minus x minus plus e raised to 0, that is 1. And all together we can write this entire series or entire solution as e raised to x square plus let me write minus this minus e raised to minus x plus x goes off, so x square, and then plus e raised to x square plus x. And when you cancel this out, this e raised to x square and minus e raised to x square, the entire thing it reduces to e raised to x square plus x. And then we claim that this is your required solution of the integral equation given by y of x is equals to e raised to x square plus integral 0 to x e raised to x square minus t square yt dt. So again you can verify this whether it's a solution or not. I leave this as exercise. So the question is, whatever we got here, verify that e raised to x square plus x is a solution of given integral equation. Let us take one more here example. I will solve this briefly. Again I'm directly writing the equation y of x is equals to 1 plus x plus lambda integral 0 to x x minus t y of t dt. Now in this case you calculate all these things. I'll just give the hint. Here we will get k1 of x comma t as your k, that is x minus t. You will get k2 of xt as x minus t the whole cube upon 3 factorial. You will get k3 of x comma t as x minus t raised to 5 divided by 5 factorial. Likewise you can find k3 k4 k5 and so on, and you generalize. After generalization you will have km x comma t as x minus t whole raised to 2m minus 1 divided by 2m minus 1 factorial. And after this you can write your resolvent kernel, gamma xt lambda, and you can get the solution, right? Let me give some exercise for solving. Exercise: solve by method of successive approximation. You can go for iterated kernel, right? So first, y of x equals to e raised to x minus e by 2 plus half plus half integral 0 to 1 y of t dt. So this is your first problem. For second one, let me write y of x is equals to sin x minus 1 by 4 x plus 1 by 4 integral 0 to pi by 2 xt y of t dt. So you try to solve this using the successive approximation. You can find the resultant kernel and get the solution, right? For more problems, you can go for the text which is already mentioned and solve the problems.